What is happening, my YouTube family? Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, click like and subscribe, do the little clicky clacks. This episode's going to be a little bit different. I actually filmed this earlier in my YouTube stuff, and I never ever did it. So I did my 99 Tahoe. I did all front suspension and rear suspension, and I drove this thing cross country. And I think you're really going to like it because I go to SEMA, I go to Dino's Get Down, and I even hit TMI and show you all the good products. So take a look at this video. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Again, click like and subscribe, and thanks a lot. It all tastes like chicken. Okay, here's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with the front suspension on this Tahoe. When it came to me, it was already dropped. And the way they achieved this drop is they went and put a 3-inch kit on it, which is a 2-inch drop spindle by Beltec, which moves the spud up. Then they put a 1-inch drop spring on it, which gets it down lower. There's nothing wrong with it. Except if you're me, you want it lower. And what I like doing is an adjustable suspension. Now, I could have put air ride on it. I could have put hydraulics on it. I could have put hydroshocks on it. I didn't. I want to keep this thing static so I can drive it all the time. And for me to do that, I ended up going with coilovers. So I contacted a company called QA1, and QA1 and I have a great relationship because I like their products. I stand by their products. They're American made. They work good. It keeps my alignment right, and I can handle around a corner like you never dreamed of. So what you see here, you got your lower arms that are set up for a coilover with their ball joints in it, upper arms with their ball joints in it, your single adjustable coilover with the spring that is set up for your spring rate. Now, one of the things that's going to happen as soon as I go down lower is I'm going to have to replace the tires because the tires themselves that I have on it are too tall. I ended up contacting Continental and getting a shorter tire to match these tires. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start working on the front suspension, getting it jacked up in the air, and then getting dirty because that's what we do. All right, look, I've did all the due diligence and got all this junk torn apart so we could just get going on with it. Took all the factory suspension off. And what the factory suspension is your arms are actually a stamped steel. See, it's just a plate, it's bent, it's stamped steel with a bolt-in ball joint that you can get at any parts store. Has rubber bushings in it. These go bad after a while. They do. So you have to rebuild it. So instead of just leaving it a factory that doesn't have strength, I'm going tubular. So the tubular arms themselves, are stronger. QA1 sets them up with their ball joints, which are rebuildable, instead of buying where you can have these rebuilt, and it actually helps with your camber. Delrun bushings, which ain't ever going to go bad, you put this together, it makes it nice and tight. Upper and lower arms will make so much strength involved in this. Then, instead of using the spring and shock setup it had before, I'm going to use a coilover. What a coilover is, this is a dampening system that you can control rebound and compression by this knob right here. Most of your shocks are just kind of set what they are, but this one right here with the adjustability I can make it softer or tighter going into the corner, going down the straight, or just making my ride all out better. The spring itself will go right into the pocket, so this should be pretty simple. All right, here's the deal. Front end is basically wrapped up and done. The upper and lower control arms are on, the coilovers are set there and there. I just have to grease up the zerks, do little cotter keys, and this should be dialed in as far as that front suspension. I need to put the QA1 sway bar on it. So that's going to stop me from going booty-boo in the corners and stuff. And then this should be dialed. Should be dialed. Take a look at this. There it is. It's all there. And then there's the sway bar I'm going to put on. You know, that's a bigger sway bar than factory. These simple mods that I'm doing on this truck, you can do. And it's a bolt-on deal, right? They've did all the work, and then all you got to do is just put it together. I can't wait to get this thing on the ground. So I'm going to finish up the small stuff that I have to do and put the sway bar on. Let's put the wheels and tires on it. Shorter tire in the front. Did not change the drop itself. Still left the 5 drop in the back. Coilover front suspension. A-arms, the adjustability I have in the front is limitless now. I want to set it on the ground. Here's the deal. I feel like a truck hit me. I feel horrible today. It's been taking me a minute to do all this. So I want to get this on the ground, look at the ride height, and get it over to the alignment shop. I was going to paint the hood, the fenders, and the roof, but I'm not, man. When you feel like old like I am and it hurts, that's what it's doing. So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'll just come back and I'll show you how to paint the hood and all that. It'll be a quick little thing that I can show you and it'll work. So I'm gonna set this on the ground and let's see where it sits. Okay, it's down. Let's give it a little bumpity bump, see what she does. Okay. Okay. Let me see what this looks like. That ain't bad. Let me see where we're running 3. A little bit lower in the front, about a 1/2 inch, which I'm cool with. The wheel gap is fine. Right now the wheels are sitting positive camber because I yanked the control arm and pulled them out. So when I take it to the alignment shop, he'll set everything in it and get the toe and camber right. And we should be able to clean this thing up, make it so I can sleep in it, and head to Vegas. Just got back from the alignment shop, and I tell you what, I'm happy. It sits right. It rides really, really good. Need to soften up the shocks a little bit, which I can do because the QA1 has the adjustability. The stops, the steering stops, they need to be cut or something because I don't get full swing, but you need to take a look at how well the stance is on this. Take a look at this. I firmly believe with the right gap in between the wheel itself and the tire, they need to match from front to back. Wheels and tires and stance make every vehicle perfect. You can have a Yo-Ho, whatever. You can have a Yugo. You can have a Chevette. You can have anything, but I'm gonna tell you this now. You get the right stance and the right wheels in it, pooh, it looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it in. I need to fix those things I need to address. Then I need to do some stuff in the interior because I leave tomorrow on a road trip to SEMA. What up, family? Welcome to the video. Here's the deal. I was supposed to start this yesterday when I was gonna make this road trip to SEMA, but I had so much stuff going on, and this is the downfall of me is I live in the moment so much that I really don't have time or I don't think about videoing. So I'm gonna do a little bit better at that. I'm sorry. I made it to Oklahoma City, right outside Oklahoma City, El Reno. It's a little hotel. I stayed here before. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna get in, and my goal is to make it to Albuquerque, New Mexico today. Gonna stop and see a buddy of ours, Shay Seatbelt. He's working on a SEMA build. Now, I've told you before, SEMA thrashing, they're thrashing. They gotta be in there on Monday. SEMA is a huge car show. No, let me rephrase that. SEMA is a huge trade show. So you can't just get in there. You have to be part of the industry. There is cars there that are probably some of the pinnacle builds, and there are some cars there that will be bedazzled with jewels. Don't ask me. Okay, yesterday was a pain in the butt. Oklahoma, you win. You have the most messed up weather I've ever driven in. It rained for 4 hours. And I'm not talking like little drizzle. I'm talking hard, pellet size crap came out of the sky. Went to Shay's last night. They're building a 90s, early 90s 300ZX wide body deal. There was actually too many hands in there, so there's no sense of me being in there helping, but I just sat there and hung out with him. I'm on the road right now. I got 8 hours to go, leaving Albuquerque. I'm hoping I get there by about 5:30 is what the game plan shows on my GPS. It all depends on what weather we get. I did see that it's supposed to snow. You know what sucks is you clean up your vehicle, you make it look good, then you run through a bunch of crap called rain and a little bit of hail, and now it's telling me that I'm gonna have to go through a little snow. Yeah, great. So let's see how this day goes. If anything fun happens, I'll let you know. But if not, I'm just putting the wood to the good and getting going. This is the coolest van here. Look, here's the deal. This is at Ace of Shades. This is a paint company, and they did this van as their Evel Knievel tribute. But here's what I want to show you that is probably the most amazing thing I've ever seen. If you watch the one, That is a luminescence paint. It's actually sprayed on the vehicle, and they charge it with a battery, and it actually turns on. Turns on. Think about that. This changes the whole game of paint. This is awesome. Working on the Tahoe. Just went to SEMA in it, and the suspension and everything works great. But I'm gonna lower it more because it's just not low enough. But one thing I realized coming out here is that these factory seats really ain't as comfortable on this old body as I was thinking. So I'm gonna take us to a place today because we're gonna do a little interior magic in this. So this is gonna be awesome. So I don't know, it's right down the street-ish, I guess. If you know, OBS's interiors are not the greatest interiors. It's kind of one of them things that when you get into it, you see that there's not a lot for it. And this place we're going to has a lot. And as you see now, this is what I'm working with now. I've already taken the headrest off because I really can't stand the headrest, so I get a little street rod look. It's not ideal, but it looks cool. So we're gonna head over to this place and go see what it's all about. Look at that, people. Where are we at? Exactly, TMI. Chose to work with Ross and them guys at TMI. First of all, it's made in the United States. Second of all, this company's been around forever. And what's crazy is I've always heard about their product. You've heard about their product. And now I'll be able to get some of their product, and I'm gonna actually give you a review of how it is. The cool thing about TMI is they have all sorts of different kind of materials, and you can actually get them changed any which way you want, and that's going to happen over here. This right here is their design center, so they have all the custom stuff that happens in here. This is an interior heaven, people. Like, all the cool stuff you're seeing is the stuff they do here. They don't send it out, they do it here. I mean, like, look at these seats. If you want a bench seat, what are you talking about? You could buy it and put it in your car. What are you doing? I'm in their warehouse install area that they have. And Ross Belinga, let me introduce you. This is Ross Belinga. Ross, this man right here, is the main dude. He's been around this industry for a long time. He was like MagnaFlow. I know all about you, dude. J.E. Pistons. I've known him. I've known his name. Here's the thing. This is where they're doing their magic. And what's crazy is I'm usually doing it myself. So I actually thought I was coming to put it in myself. And he says, no, he's kicking me out of here so they can put it in themselves.
That's it. So the cool thing is we have some really talented guys in-house that's able to do all the install for you, to just take all the heavy lifting off you. You've already done enough.
Man, you know better than that. That ain't the way it goes. Okay, I'm gonna look at some product. I'm gonna tell you about it in a minute here. Look, so Ross, you're gonna take care of us on this lovely vehicle we getting ready to do? Is that what you're telling me?
That's right.
All right.
We do the complete install right here in our design center.
Now, do you offer that for people?
Absolutely.
So they can actually come in, buy the stuff, and then you'll put it in?
That's right.
What's that tell you people? You were trying to find an upholsterer. They right here the whole time, got it all done. Let's be for real, this is awesome. They're giving us an opportunity to have their seats in this console, dash pad. I can't wait to see what it looks like, but it's kind of weird for me because I'm used to working on my own stuff, and I'm not. So I can't wait to see what this looks like. I'm gonna go mess around. Lucky showed up today. He's getting a seat or something. I don't know. We're gonna go find out, do some stuff. And then, Lucky, what are we doing? There's Lucy Costa. If you don't know him, he was on The Bachelor #5.
No, it was Predator.
Predator. So what are we doing?
Well, I came all the way out here to help my buddy Cotton install the interior in his Tahoe. Blazer.
Tahoe.
And they have professionals to do this sort of stuff.
You notice that?
So I did drive for an hour to hang out. I've already had breakfast, and the casino's only about 30 minutes further from here. So you know what? Honestly, just save gas. Why, while we're here, let's just go green, drive another 30 minutes, go to the casino.
We going to the casino. Look at this. Came back. Door panels are off. The dash is on and that looks great. Oh, hell yeah. They got this. Of course, don't mind that. I'm living in this thing for the last 2 weeks, so all this is out. All the interior is out. You got the back seat. They're going to keep the back seat because they're going to make templates and everything and recover it. So they will be able to have this on their site. There's the other seat. And don't forget, you can actually get hold of TMI just because you're going to buy the buckets. If you want, they can do this for you. They can put it all in there. And you can look at it and get it all made the way you want it. This is like a one-stop shop. The biggest part about this is you can do everything you need to do here at TMI. They will actually put the stuff in here just like you're seeing, but they have so many different templates, so many different ways of making your seat look good. You can't beat it. If you go to an upholstery shop, and I have had plenty of cars that I've taken to upholstery shops, they just cost a lot of money. I spent half of that as I usually do in upholstery. And I love upholstery. It makes your car look good, makes your butt feel good, and you look good. Yeah. So we're gonna have to leave his here tonight. Seat brackets were kind of messed up. They're gonna modify that, but I'm digging what I'm seeing so far. I'll let you see tomorrow. It's the next day. I'm coming to pick this thing up. I'm really curious to see how it looks. They had to do some photo shoot and stuff, so let's go take a look at this thing. This is their showroom. They say usually they have all their SEMA stuff here. So when you come here, you can actually look at all different kind of stuff, different seats, different designs that they have. This is a very, very well ran outfit. If you look in the back, you can see all the stuff in the warehouse. And there it is, looking all goodified. It looks like a brand new truck. Are you kidding me, dude? It matches perfect. I mean, besides my carpet looking like a busty, this looks great.
It turned out really, really good. I mean, even down to the grain. So it has still that factory look, but at the same time, we just knocked it out of the park with the way this new cruiser expansion has turned out.
Okay, so hold on. If you guys don't know, there's a difference in seats. And the cruiser line itself, now explain the difference of those and like your low backs and stuff like that.
So still using the same great molded foam that we use in all of our TMI seats, but the cruiser collection, the way it's set up is actually it's sitting on the shelf ready to go. So if you wanted something now, cruiser collection is the way to go. When it comes to molded fiberglass door panels and the dash pad, yeah, you're going to have to wait a little bit because it's all made to order. But the cruiser collection, you can buy it right now.
You hear that? Right now. So as you sit there and try to figure out how to do your interior, come on now. You can call them up and get anything you want. If you got a special design, yeah, it's going to take a little bit, but you can get these things right now. So get off your butt and just go buy these. Don't worry about no other upholstery. It bolts right in and you're good. What up? Okay, I'm back. And that was a good trip. There was a lot of stuff that I've learned. The ride on this, I'm going to tell you later, but it is very, 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 very happy. I digged it, dugged it, or whatever you want to say. I rode from California to Arizona with some RA club, that's what I'm part of, Relaxed Atmosphere, some club members. And you know what? Their vehicles were pretty low. Mine's not low enough. Now we're going to get this thing on the ground with a 5.7 drop, 6.8 drop, whatever we end up going with. We're going to do a flip kit, which means we're going to take the rear end and put it on top of the leaf springs. We're going to put a 9-inch Ford rear end in here from Quick Performance that's narrowed up 1.25 inches on each side. That way it takes a tire and it pulls it in instead of me cutting it. I have to rebuild the stock rear end anyways. It's got a leak. It's just not great. So instead of me spending all that time on it, it's got a 342 gear. It's been through 140,000 miles on it. It needs to be rebuilt. Why not get a new one? And that's what I did. I called up Quick Performance and got a bolt 10 rear end that fits in your OBSs. So instead of worrying about rebuilding it, you could get one cut down, you could have one made. The only thing you would have to change would be a U-joint, which is a conversion U-joint. Let me show you what I'm talking about as far as the tire. The stance on this thing is at a 5.5. So we know we got to flip the rear end on top of the leaf spring to get it to go down lower. But this tire, even though it looks like it's tucking in, it's not. The bulge itself is right here. Okay, so I want it to go lower. If I want it to go lower, what a lot of people do is they cut this lip out right here. Well, it's a double-walled system in here. I don't want to cut this. I don't want to trim this. If I'm going to go through this work, just narrow the rear end. If I narrow the rear end, now I'll have plenty of clearance for this tire to be in here, because when you're talking about here to here, it's 1.25 inches. We're going to put that 9-inch in here, and it'll be perfectly fine. Then that gap that you see right there will be gone. And then that up there, this right here sits good, but we need this gap to be gone, and it'll be smashed, and we got plenty of clearance. I'm going to go ahead and use this 9-inch rear end that I got from Quick Performance in there. Now, this is a 31 spline axle, 350 gear LSD. This is basically bulletproof. This is the same stuff that we use on drag cars. I don't have to worry about it, but they come with axle pads already on it and your shock mounts. That means you could just drop it in the stock location and it goes in there. No problem. Easy peasy, chicken squeezy. I got disc brakes going on it. Their style of disc brakes with a metric caliper. Got to change that U-joint, which I got that piece. But for right now, I need to get all of that out. And then we can put all of this in. Everything is out of the back of this Tahoe. Now the rear end's out and it needed to be rebuilt. It's just covered with grease. I'm happy that I'm going to put a new rear end in the back. Brake lines are cut. I got to take those loose. Everything's ready to go. But the next step that we have to do to make this lower, we have to flip it. And to flip it, that means you're going to take the axle that's located underneath the leaf spring and put it on top of the leaf spring. Now, the problem is it gets into the frame. You got to notch it. So you do a thing called a C-notch. Well, the C-notch would go is like in the frame, visualize a straight line with a little cut out of it. It'll go in there, it'll make it strong again, but the rear end now has able to cycle all the way in there and not bang on the frame. So now I got to get in there and cut that, and as low as it's going, I got to cut the support on top inside, like underneath the floor, because the rear end will probably hit that. Then I can start putting it together. Got it? Okay. Here's the story. Yesterday, I came with the mindset that I was going to put the Quick Performance 9-inch rear end in the back of it and flip it, which means that this would be slammed. Otherwise, I was going to take the rear end and put it on top of the leaf springs. Well, this already has a set of drop leaves in it, so I knew it was going to be super low, which I love. Did all the work, notched it, everything, put it in, and it's too low. And you won't hear me say that much, but these are can of worms. Like, to make stuff ride good and be low, you got to do a lot of modifying as far as cutting. You know, you got to, like this, for instance, I got to cut the exhaust off of it and got to make sure the pinion's right. But not just because back here, you got to start doing it in the front to make everything match. And I don't have that time, nor do I have that desire to tear it up, because this video wasn't about me making it the lowest vehicle out. It was about the ride. It was about the suspension pieces that I put on to see how it rides. So last night before I left, I tore it all back apart, and this thing tucked. It looked awesome. But I took it all back apart last night at 12 o'clock, put the leaf springs back into the location with the hangers, and I'm going to put it back to the 5-inch drop, which means that the rear end's going to go underneath the leaf springs like it was before, and go from there. You know, I'm trying to stay focused. I know that we want to build cars together. And for us to build cars together, I got to set a time frame for each thing. This Tahoe was supposed to be done today so it can get out and we can take it to PRI. Then the 1960 Biscayne is coming in so we can start working on it. For me to do that, I have to have this thing gone. I have to have it out of the way. And I'm just going to put it back. Like I said, it's more about the ride. My mind is I'm a mini trucker. I want this thing on the ground. I want it dragging. I really do, because I've always wanted a Tahoe. But that doesn't do the parts that I've put on it justice. So If I put it all back to what it is here, go for a ride, because now the rear end that's in it, since it's narrow, the tires actually fit in and it looks great. But then I'll be able to put the QA1 shocks on it, test that, and we could drive it. And let's drive this thing and feel it and see what it's like. Yeah, this is one of them days. Wheels tuck, good. Tires tuck, good. We're back at the 5.5. I'm gonna take it for a ride. I need to get some stuff squared away. And I'm actually pretty happy with it. And guess who just showed up?
What's up, buddy?
Matt Canab, you know Matt Nab. Matt Nab's been with us on the show, Faster Wet Newbern and Cotton. He's our person that we actually trust. Like, there ain't many people, and Matt's actually coming up here because guess what? Matt's gonna help me on the 60. But you're just in time because I wanna take this for a ride. What do you think of it though? You haven't seen it since it's been like this.
I like it.
Do you?
I like it. I like how you got it all squared away in the back.
Good.
It looks fantastic.
Good. It sits a lot lower than what it was before. You know, it's got all QA1 for suspension. Now I got the quick rear end with QA1 coilover or QA1 shocks in the back of it. So let's take this for a ride. I'm happy you're here. Let's take this for a ride because we got PRI to hit.
Take me for a ride.
All right, bud. Good cherry, yeah. All right, we're gonna take this for a test drive for you guys. I put probably about 3,300 miles on it, and I'm in love. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I've had a lot of lower vehicles in my lifetime, which would just consisted of springs and spindles and drop shocks, and same thing in the back. This is a whole different ball game. Is it worth the money to put the QA1 suspension on? 100%. Can you daily drive it? 100%, because I've been driving the wheels off of this thing and love the way it rides. It rides better than most of my vehicles. And that's crazy to say, because I always thought, like, in a coilover world, you couldn't really drive them like that all the time. So in the front we have single adjustable coilover from QA1, the upper and lower control arms, and these are tighter because they have a Delrin bushing. They have their own ball joint. The back's the Quick Performance 9-inch rear end. It has a stocker shock that's made by QA1. All these things have been adjusted to what I like. This rides better than most stock vehicles out right now. I'm not gonna lie. It handles amazing. Again, would I invest in it? Yes. You know, you're gonna go up there and buy a cheaper part, I get it, but you have problems when you're lowering a vehicle. I usually call it the slap in the buck. So when you lower a vehicle in the front, you get a slap as you go over a bump, and that's because your spring rate is so tight and the shock is almost past its half compression point that you get this, so you got this slap. And in the back, usually you have a buck, which means the way it's all set up, because of the way the shock is, even though it's extended, you get this buck. Well, I don't have that at all right now. It's amazing how this thing rides. Second thing is the this interior, from factory to now, huge difference. It actually makes you feel a little bit better inside the seat. I know that there's upholsterers out there that they'll get mad and be like, I can't believe you went and got that. But I'm gonna tell you, I love it. And I have upholstery guys that I look up to, and they do great work. But for a guy that wants like an OBS, that you just want to put a nice interior in and enjoy it, instead of just buying seat covers and putting them over stock seats and stuff, like, you can't beat it. With the TMI seat, I loved it. I got probably 2,000 miles on my butt, and man, oh man, they feel good. They actually felt a little bit more firmer than the old seats I had, because, well, they're just old and worn out. I had to pitch the front end up a little bit more. I like that feeling of just sitting in the seat instead of sitting on top of it a little bit. It's your own preference, but to be honest, both of these mods on this truck makes me love it even more. And you know, of course I hit little snags. Of course I hit, you know, it's too low. Right? I didn't think I could ever say that, but it was too low. But I'm almost happy leaving it at this height, because it rides amazing. Like, I don't have to go buy a new car. I just invest money in this old one, and I'm good. So is the stuff worth it? Yep. And I'm going to say it over and over again. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'm trying. These are all new. This is all new to me. I don't have a clue on what to do, but do me a favor, click like, subscribe, hit icon bell, do a little moonwalk, do some breakdancing, whatever you want to do. But I want you to go out and enjoy your life and have a great day. So, catch you on the rebound.